let's go through this. Bart, this is Josh, who I'm about to put on right now, who's calling from Cincinnati. I think he just saw you talk at American Atheist. Is that true, Josh?
Come on, baby.
Hey, how's it going?
Going good. What's up, Josh?
Oh, man. I am, it's been a rough week. I got tickets to the awards dinner back in January. Few things warrant me pausing a Seth Andrews podcast. But as soon as I heard him talk about that, I went straight on, got one of the free tickets, just super stoked about it. Like, man, Atheist convention in Cincinnati, my hometown. And, you know, I work 60 hours a week, so I don't have time for any of this shit. So, you know, insert there is a God pun here, of course.
Right.
And, you know, I was super excited about it for months. And the only issue is my wife. She's a fundamentalist Christian, Pentecostal, to be exact. And, you know, I love her no less for it. You know, I didn't marry her extremely Christian. I've been an atheist since I was a teenager, since I was able to go, doesn't make any fucking sense. But she blew up about it. And I had to, you know, choose family first because, you know, it's about respect. I'm not gonna, you know, I was super excited to go to this convention. And, you know, all I really wanted to do is just shake the hands of, you know, like Matt, Jamie, Eric, Seth Andrews, and everybody that's helped me just get through everything. I attend a Pentecostal service once a week, and it's somewhere in between brutal and entertaining. It's just, I lean on the ACA, and you guys have been a great help. Everybody that does everything there, just hats off to you. And you, my man, seem like you were on the same page that I am, just with just humanism, just treating people with respect, and just not looking at people for their beliefs, and just seeing people for people. And that seems to be where it's at. And it's just been a troubling week, and it just seemed like, you know, you were the guy to talk to, and this was a great opportunity. I've listened to Truth Wanted since its premiere, and I've been following the ACA for years now, and it just seemed like the right time to call in, man, especially where you're exactly where I want to fucking be sitting right now. You know, shake some hands for me, man. And keep doing what you're doing, man. I appreciate what everybody's doing here.
Oh, man, Josh, that is so wonderful to hear. I wish I got to go to American Atheist this weekend with Eric and Jamie and Matt and those guys. But I'm here doing the show, and that's cool, too. And one day, Josh, I'm going to shake your hand. We're going to make that happen.
Hey, don't feel too bad, man. I'm 10 miles from that fucking convention right now, and I can't go. So
yeah, I get that, man. But Bart, do you have anything to say about this situation? I'm sure this has come up a lot in the conversations you've had with people.
You know, it's interesting. I just was talking to a sex therapist named Marty Klein, who is kind of this world-renowned sex therapist. We just did a podcast with him. And we were talking about pornography and the way in which pornography, he wrote a book called His Porn, Her Pain. And it's all about kind of marriages that are oftentimes, you know, where the woman is like very upset and horrified by her husband's use of pornography. He doesn't necessarily get it. But one of the things that Marty pointed out to me is that the larger problem isn't the porn usually. It's the lack of communication and the ability of one spouse to dictate to the other spouse and say, you will not watch this, or you will not look at this. Like, I'm laying down the law here. If you want to be with me, this is my way or the highway. And what Marty said is that's the destructive thing. And so what concerns me about your story is not that your wife disagrees with you, but that she feels like she has the right to dictate to you and say, like, you can't go there. I don't want you to be with people that agree with you. Imagine if you turned it around and said, you can't go to that Pentecostal church. I forbid it. That would be so wrong of you. Like, that's not the way people in a partnership deal with their differences. And so, I think that probably the thing I would argue with my wife about if I was you is I wouldn't go to her and say, that's not fair that you dictated that. I would say, like, hey, listen, I want to talk to you about, like, what kind of marriage we want to have moving forward. We're coming from different places, but, like, can we come up with a way in which we respect each other? Can we come up with a new way of communicating? Is there a way that I can put something on the table and you can ask questions about it? Like, I want to get to the place where I don't feel like I should dictate to you what should happen, and you don't feel like you should dictate to me, because I feel like if we start laying down rules for each other, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
So I think
it's a situation where she's quite dictating what I'm allowed to do or not. Just being a woman, she's much better at being an argumentalist than I am. She's not so much you're not allowed to go to that, but why do you need to go to that? And I explained the basic human nature for community and for people to be around like-minded individuals. And that I just simply want to shake the hand of people who, might I add, are helping save our marriage, because they have better helped me understand, just collaboration and just forgetting about the idealism and just looking at people for people and just seeing the human being behind all these ideals and just loving somebody for who they are. And that's
Josh,
really been
we're not there. You're there. This may not have been the moment for you to, in a sense, to sort of respectfully say, listen, I hear you. I understand what you're saying. I'm going to come home and explain it all to you, but I'm going to go. This may not have been the moment for you to in a sense.
Indeed, you got to pick your battles.
Right. This may not have been the moment, but I promise you that your marriage is going to suffer if you don't at some point say, I'm always going to be willing to listen to you. I'm always going to take your stuff seriously. I'm always going to answer your questions. But there are times when I'm going to do things that you're not going to understand or appreciate. And that because I am looking out for our marriage. And if I allow you to cause my spirit, my heart, my life, my identity to shrivel, in a sense, I'm not doing you any favors, because then you'll be married to a shriveled up raisin of a husband instead of to somebody who can really love you the way you deserve to be loved.
Yeah, which unfortunately she believes can only be achieved through the joys of Jesus Christ.
Well, Josh, listen, this isn't the time for us to do a full on, let's hear the story counts. But I promise you, and I'm not the only one that does it. There are people that you can talk to who this is a real thing. These interfaith marriages, they are a huge thing. I counsel people, and probably one half of my whole practice as a counselor are people that are in these kinds of marriages. Because it's incredibly difficult, and it is not as so there's nothing we can say to you on a call-in show that's going to make sense of it, because each marriage is different and there's stuff. But what I will tell you is that you're probably not going to figure it out until and unless you're in conversation with somebody, a friend, a buddy, a brother, a counselor, a coach. But you're going to need somebody to bounce ideas off of. It sounds funny, but being a good partner is too big a job for any one person. We all need help. We all need help in figuring out how to relate to our spouses in a way that's really good for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, man.
My wife is definitely somebody who has certainly stood her ground on her beliefs. She actually preaches as well. So, I'm not in particularly the best of spots. But, you know, like I said, you make your bed, you lay in it. And certainly family comes first. It's all about respect. And, you know, you got to respect family first. We have 3 children, you know, beautiful family, and somebody's got to be there for them. And I'm not going to let anything like that come in the way when it just comes to a clash of ideas. Now it does affect the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's gonna, and honestly, your kids are going to be the biggest issue. Your kids, because at some level, you know, you're going. The question's going to be: are you going to cede the child raising to your wife? Are you going to be like, listen, those kids are yours. You teach them whatever you want to teach them. I got nothing to say about that. Or are you going to create some kind of a situation in which your kids get a chance to be raised by 2 parents who respect each other and who believe differently, and they're going to get exposure to both those opportunities and both those options, and that's a big issue to work out.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing. You know, I've learned a lot, you know, especially through watching the, you know, Parenting Beyond Belief show, which has also been a big help. I'm not there to, you know, quote unquote, atheist preach to my children. They don't understand a lot of this. Their age of reason has not came yet. My oldest is 12. So they're not quite at a point where I can explain a lot of the deeper stuff that I understand and that I've gathered from these shows. All they need me to be is just there.
Yeah.
And be a good person and know that he loves mommy and know that they get along. You know, any good relationship, there's some arguments. If somebody isn't arguing, somebody is miserable. That's pretty much how I see it. No 2 people are going to be exactly perfect for each other. And I just need to be there, and I need to be a good example for them that, we know Daddy doesn't believe in God, but he's still a good person. And that's the only dime I need to drop in their head. Look at Seth Andrews.
Yeah.
He grew up about as fundamentalist as you can possibly get. And now he is a national freaking atheist treasure.
Yeah, it happens.
So, you know, I don't worry myself about my kids' level of indoctrination, which is quite thick. But I want to respect my wife, and I want to love my wife, and I want to love my children. The best thing that I can do is just be there. So, you know, the best thing I can do is still be here by not fucking up my marriage, by just wanting to shake somebody's hand.
Yeah.
So,
well, Josh, you know, if you made it through, I'm sure they'll make it through too, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's something to think about too. I mean, we live in a world that's increasingly, I know we've debated on how exactly this process is happening, but it is a fact that at least the United States is becoming increasingly secular, and you being a role model for them is, I mean, that's as good as a role. I can't, having a father figure that is fulfilling that role of, hey, I'm a non-believer, but I'm still a good person. It doesn't get much better than that, right? You know,
especially when
lives,
children
doing
see
stuff
that they know they don't believe in God, but he sits in a Pentecostal service every week.
For sure. For sure.
It teaches them a lot about what you should do for love anyway. So,
yeah. Well, Josh,
thanks
so much for calling.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Glad I'm always happy to talk to people who've been watching since day one. That's exciting. I'm so glad to hear that. You take care, Josh, and send an email. You know, come talk to us on the Discord. Let us know how that's going. We'll catch you later. Okay.
Thanks so much, man. Yep.
Absolutely.